Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your elemental energy reading for fire for the month of February of 2026. These energies and readings are general readings, so take what works, leave the rest for someone else. If you've never had your charts read, because I read for the elements and not the zodiac, there is a chart in the description that gives you your base 12 houses and all of the little signs and symbols. And then there is a section in the back of the report, which is 10 to 20 pages, that talks about your elemental alignment. So that's more where I step in, because that's more of the energies that I like to work with. The zodiac is not one of my favorites, but I'm starting to learn more about it. I've been working on that. Fire covers the zodiac signs of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So if you're Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or have fire high in your chart, this is for you. And we start off with the hexagram from the I-ching. And fire, you guys have number 45, which is gathering together or assembling. And the text is, gathering together, success. The king approaches the temple. It is advisable to see a great man, which will ensure success. Persistence in a righteous course brings reward. Great sacrifices are offered and good fortune. It is favorable to have in view a goal or a destination. So really, fire, you're starting off the month of February about coming together, getting people with similar mindsets who are on a similar path, because the more of you that are working together towards a combined goal, the better things are going to go. And it's definitely saying you want to make sure that you have a goal in mind. You're not just working to work. The fire energy this month for February is really about keeping a goal at the forefront of your plans and agendas, and great sacrifices are offered, good fortune. You might be the one sacrificing time to get the business going. Someone else might be sacrificing something to support what you're doing. So this is a time of being willing to work with a lot of different energies and patterns to get things going in the right direction. So our foundation line here: when sincerity or confidence does not remain until the last, dispersal and assembling will alternate. There was a cry, but one reassuring clasp of the hand made him ready to laugh, so no cause for anxiety. Advancing now will entail no error. There's a lot of words there. So basically, if you don't feel like your sincerity, your confidence is just not quite there, that's when this dispersal and assembling, people are going to wander through. It's going to be one of those where if you're not ready to step into that leadership position, you're going to have people coming in and you're going to have people going out. You're not going to have the cohesive group that you need, but you're still going to have those one or two people who are going to clasp your hand, who are going to pat you on the back saying, we're with you. And that's where you don't have to worry about it. The no cause for anxiety. Don't stress over things like this. And advancing now will entail no error. You may not move quickly with this energy as a foundation, but you're going to end up moving. It's just may not be as fast as you would like. So our second place line: being drawn into something brings good fortune, no error involved. Be confident and win advantage for making a sacrifice. This ties back to that main text. Sacrifice is not talking about like, oh, you have to give up everything. It's more saying you may have to give up a little bit more time to make the business start. You might have to give up that one thing when you propose to your person of choice. This is where you may have to give one thing up, but the reward is going to be so much better than that thing you had. And that's where you're being drawn into something that brings good fortune. The thing that you're heading towards, fire, whatever it is, whatever your goal is better than the thing you might have to sacrifice. Our third place line: a mournful gathering, it would seem. There is no objective which would be favorable, yet to advance now would involve no error, only slight regret. Basically, you need to make sure you have a goal in mind. You need to have a destination. You need to make sure you have an end game here. If you do vision boards, make sure you know what those things are going to look like for you. You might be cutting pictures out. What does it look like if you're standing in that room, if you're standing in that business, if you are married to that person? What does that look like specifically to you? That's what they're wanting to say. A mournful gathering, it would seem, if there's no objective. So you're getting people together, you're working on something with the outcome being question mark. Yeah, it's not going to go great. You're not really having an error, but it's not definitely moving. So you want to get clear. If you're not sure, watching this video is a good time to really get focused on what it is you're looking for going forward. So our 4th place line: great good fortune, no error. By getting everything lined up, getting your plans in place, having the goal. You may not know every step, that's fine, but you need to have the goal. If you have the goal, everything's going to work out. It's all going to go the right direction. There's going to be ups and downs, that's life, but you're going to end up where you need to be. So our 5th place line: on account of his high position, he gathers people together, no error. Yet he cannot secure the confidence of those people, therefore he should exalt his virtue and prolong his persistence, so that he need no longer feel regret. Okay, so there's some topics here. On account of your high position, you're the one leading this charge, Fire. You're getting people who have similar ideas together, and you're moving forward. So that's your high position. You gather the people together, no error. Good to go. Cannot secure the confidence of these people. So if you waffle because you're the leader of this group and you're not really sure, this is where you may have to put in more time and effort. He will exalt his virtue and prolong his persistence. You may have to put in more work to still get the same thing done. So fake it till you make it. If you're not really truly confident, then figure out how you can make yourself confident. Figure out how you can gain the knowledge to be able to move forward. If it's proposing to somebody, like I said, the relationship part is your destination, you're just going to have to kind of work up the courage for that. And may take some time. There's no error in that. It's saying keep working on it. You're going to get through this. It just may not magically appear like you would like it to, that's fine. Your capstone here, the top one: sighs and lamentations, but no error. If you can't get past the moving forward part of life, there may be a little bit of regret that pops up there. But overall, Fire, you're not going to have errors because of it, because you know where you're going, you know what you're doing, you know where you're heading. So this is all really good for Fire. So you have a really powerful outlook on the future for February coming up here. And it's really saying you're going to get out of February what you're willing to put into it. But the key factor is you need to have a goal. So if you're just working to work, which a lot of us do, that's probably not the best outcome. You want to get that goal clear in your mind. That way you can actually step forward and make the determinations and the plans and get the reward you've been hunting for. So this is your time to shine and stand into that energy. So with that, we'll hop into the cards. We'll break down the month week by week. There's 4 weeks in February, so we'll easy peasy here. Each week we look at a guide or guardian, a message from source, and then we get a little more clarity from the tarot. Before we do that, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, feelings, and impressions. Something I like to hear feedback on in person or on here. I read intuitively, so if you see or feel something different from the cards I'm holding up, feel free to comment down below. It's always interesting to hear what other people's intuition brings forward. So with that, we'll move forward here. And Fire, for your first week, guide or guardian, actually in this case it's both, we have the Ascended Master Mary Magdalene. That's a powerful divine feminine. And you also have the stone of Aqua Aura Quartz. This is not the best picture of them, but you can look those up. The aura quartzes are beautiful. And the card's title is Divine Alchemy. With perfect trust, you surrender to the process of radical transformation, allowing your soul to express itself in an entirely new way. In complete faith, you recognize the unlimited healing power and creative genius, the divine... Sorry, my camera's being weird here. The genius of the divine within your heart. In the middle of the divine, there is only possibility and the grace needed to attain the heart's higher purpose. You commit to yourself to the evolution of consciousness with joyful confidence in the reality that's being birthed through your soul at this time. You live in the realization that you are loved intimately and tenderly by the divine. Fire. You have a powerful ally in the divine feminine coming through here. You are getting this powerful blast of, you got this, we can do this together. It may not be the easiest path because you're birthing something new. You're creating a different reality here. So fire, you're all about new things this month. February works with the energy of, Valentine's Day and Cupids and all the loves and hearts. And fire, if you're willing to create and you're ready to create this next branch of life in that respect, the stars are aligning. The divine feminine's coming in saying, I have your back. Let's do this. And if you are in a situation where you're wanting to start that business, this is a time where you get to work with the energies that are more subtle, but they're still powerful, saying, what do we need? What do you need support in, and how can we make this happen? So your guides and guardians, even just for the first week of February, are definitely here to support you and get you moving. So fire, I love this reading for you so far. Your message from source is number 27, so 3 threes, 3 times 9, 3 times 3 times 3, 27, and it is heart, home, and compassion. This is the energy of returning to your heart chakra, finding the balance of existence. The heart balances the upper chakras with the lower chakras. And when we really enter that state, we look at the world through the lens of compassion. We no longer see, what color your skin is or who you love or any of that other stuff. We look at the soul underneath, and it shows and shines and radiates the beauty of the spark of the creator that we all carry. And the heart home is saying, yes, you're working with the divine feminine, and this is powerful, but you also are working from the state of compassion, also a feminine trait. And that's allowing you to really expand outwards and see, the final destination, and how people can come in and help, and how by them helping you, you're helping them. This is a beautiful cycle of energy that's coming forward here. So you are really stepping into a powerful, powerful state this month, fire. And just from this first week, you have a lot of powerful stuff going on, a lot of love going here. And that's not just the flutters in your stomach kind. This is like that deep and abiding forms. So your message from the tarot, a little clarification here, is number 7 in the major arcana, so big energy. I'm getting the impression this is the full month, so be ready for that. It's the Chariot, success that comes from dedication and self-discipline, tying back to the I-ching, celebrating your accomplishments and being in the spotlight, still I-ching. You're talking about stepping into the fast track. You're getting ready for some big things to happen. You have been planning for this, and now it's time to set the goal and start moving. You've been doing all the background work, now it's time to put things into practice. And the Chariot is saying, once you start, things are going to go very quickly for you. This is going to actually shine in a very nice way for you. It's going to reflect the best parts of who you are into the world around, and the best parts of the people working with you into the project you guys are working on, whether it's, a business action, or even if it's flipping a house. If you have the goal in mind, it's going to make it easier. So you've got a lot of good things happening at the first week, and it's pushing you forward into the second week, which has Archangel Metatron, big power, and Clear Quartz. The title of the card, obviously, is going to be Power. You embrace the opportunity to explore a healthy relationship to personal power. This supports your spiritual journey to fulfill your destiny for the benefit of all beings. You choose to express your power in a way that is respectful, merciful, and kind towards yourself and all other beings. You utilize your growing power to awaken your boldness and confidence. You recognize the inevitability of your divine fulfillment. The I-ching was looking at things from the big picture, and the cards are bringing in the details. The first week you're working with Ascended Master Mary Magdalene. The second week you're coming in with Archangel Metatron, who is the angel of ascension, of growth, of people on a spiritual path and spiritual journey. All creation, if you want to look at it from a big perspective, is spiritual. So this energy that's coming in for the second week is reminding you that all of the things that you've been working on, all the plans that you've been putting into place, all of the dreams, visions, etc., you've been working from a place of spiritual growth, even if it's a physical need or a physical creation you're building. When you do the work with spirit, it all becomes more sacred that way. And that's something that is... I'm feeling Metatron's energy. Bringing the sacred into the mundane is how we really elevate our positions, but also anchor the holy and the light into the world itself. So by doing these simple things of visualization, getting the goals going, moving forward, supporting each other, you're not just doing a project. You're actually developing and anchoring in the energy from God's source, that agape love energy, which ties into the heart home, goes back to I-ching. You're building things together here. So your message from the source, this is the next card in the deck going backwards, is 26. First week was 27, this week's 26. It's called Gathering Around the Power of Community. You can't make this stuff up, guys. With this one, it's really wanting to emphasize that part from the I-ching where you're getting a group together, everyone's working on the similar goals, everyone's coming together to support each other, you're leading the charge. So they're gathering around you, fire. They're gathering around your energy. They're getting you ready to support, and as you grow, you're uplifting them as well. They might be coming in thinking, hey, I'll support my friend, that's cool. And as you do that, you're inspiring these people. You're bringing them into their best states. And even if it's something like the relationship where you're asking your buddy, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm nervous, this, that, and the other, they're going to feed off of what you're giving them. Like, I remember this if they're already married. And if they're not, they're going to be like, dude, I want this. Because you're inspiring that. So you're gathering these people of like mind around you, and you're all moving towards this powerful revelation. When you have your goal achieved, it's going to inspire them to move as well. And so you're gathering this positive momentum. And when because you get one goal doesn't mean you're done. You're going to help your friends get their goals. That's going to inspire you to do a next goal. So it's going to be this ever building energy of achievement, success, however those look for you. It could be money, it could be homes, however it looks. Don't put the energy of, well, success equals dollar signs. It can, but not always. So don't get stuck on that side of things. Your message from the tarot is number 6, the Lovers. True love is long-lasting. Choices made from the heart and a return to good health. If you've been stressing over things, this is your message from Spirit to say, you don't have to. It's all going to work out in the end. You're going to come into a union, whether it's a romantic one or a business one or friendship one, that is going to actually uplift both of you, and it's going to return you to a more healthy mindset. It's going to return you to a more healthy, could be physical body, who knows, but there's a lot of this energy of things getting better and not worrying so much about how things are playing out. You're looking at things from that broader perspective of, how is this going to work out in the long run? And when you look at that, everything else just falls into place. You don't have to worry about it. So some good energy going on here. Your third week's energy is the Ascended Master Lady Nada, and your stone is rhodochrosite, which is an interesting stone. In its raw form, it is really not pretty. When it's polished up, it is gorgeous. But we are looking at the stone of sensitivity. Your devoted heart is willing and conscious, clear channel for spiritual grace. Your growing sensitivity empowers you to experience the loving presence of the divine and to become a living light with a tremendous compassion for others and life. Your sensitivity increases in perfect harmony with your ability to process subtle energies and generate the protective field of spiritual light around you. You claim the space that you need to process your experiences and thrive. You trust what you sense and respond with this wisdom. It is safe and wild and startling and beautiful to be a sensitive soul with this higher and higher awareness. This is your reminder, fire. Don't let the world turn hard. Even if there's a struggle that goes on, it is not over. The I-ching talks about there's a period where it may look like there's something sad happening, but that just means that it's time to remember you're working from the heart. You're working with God's source. You're bringing in this energy of light and creation. And that is going to transform the world. Even if it looks like things aren't happening. Even if it looks like, I hit another roadblock. I must be doing the wrong thing. Pause, evaluate, and see where you're at. Sometimes you just need that break for a few minutes so that you don't drive yourself crazy. But that's the energy that's coming up here, is you're not done. It's not over. Hold on. Take a breath and see where we're going next. Your message from source is number 64, the Woodwives with adaptability. When we become more adaptable, we might actually hit a roadblock and think, well, what's wrong? I can't go any further. But if you turn to the right or to the left, all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, there's a door. You're running into the wall, there's a door, or a bridge, or whatever. So there's other options. When we are working towards our goals, that's why I always say, don't focus on the every step along the way. See the goal, what's the step in front of you? Do that, then do the next step, and then do the next step. If source comes in and is like, okay, we need to redirect you a little bit because that's going to take you down the wrong path, okay, well, I'll step onto this other path and we'll keep going. And that's where this adaptability comes in, because if you don't have a clear goal in life, in general, you're just going to kind of wander around hoping things fall into your lap, hoping that you're doing the right things. But what's your end game? If you're not making the plan, how can you adapt your life circumstances to focus towards that? How can you adapt your life circumstances to become more in line with that goal? That's what Source wants you to understand. When you get that goal in place, follow the next steps. You might have this thought that we're going to travel this exact destination. It's going to take 72 days. It's going to be these steps each day. Source is going to come in and be like, actually, we're going to bypass this. It's going to take you 5 days. You're going to go over here. And when you are able to move with that flow, all of a sudden things fall into place way easier. And a lot of times you skip some roadblocks you didn't even know were there until after the fact. Then you look back and are like, oh, if I'd have done it that way, it would never have worked out. Well, yeah. Source knows more than we do, fortunately. It's just there's times where we would like to be the ones to say, no, we know more. No. Your message from the tarot is the Queen of Autumn. Generous, stylish, gracious, and practical. Be practical with respect to how you proceed, the ability to make anything more beautiful, meeting someone who can help your dreams come true. Fire, your key words here are community and goals. So work with that as you go through this month. And also work with the Divine Feminine, because we have another of that energy here. The Queen of Autumn wants to remind you, just because you're doing hard work doesn't mean you can't look good doing it. And she also says, you've done all this other stuff. You've got the calluses. You've had the bumps and bruises. Well, why not try a little bit more fancy path? And I'm not saying that to be like flamboyant, but just because you're working, just because you have goals, just because you're focused, you can still be beautiful about it. You can still radiate that love of the divine. You can still be friendly and helpful with other people. Your goal is still going to be there. But that's where that beauty comes in. It's not just about the physicality, it's that soul's beauty, where you're shining that light, where you're radiating that joy for others and allowing it to really step up for you. That's the energy that's coming in here. Let's wrap up February on a bang. What do we have for our fire family for the last week? We have Archangel Gabriel, awesome, and the stone is turquoise. The title is called Safe to Be Seen. Just like with I-ching, when you accept your position, you're able to stand out and be proud. We have, you trust in the divine timing and loving wisdom that guides you to shine your light for the spiritual benefit of all beings, including yourself. The light within you is one with the great universal source of love, light, and wisdom. Its strength, protection, truth, and grace can be trusted to provide for all that is needed for you to step forward to manifest your sacred purpose. You release the past and step into the highest reality that's available to you in this moment. You shine your light bright and true. Fire, this last week is where things are going to come together. You might get the entirety of your goal this month, or you might just get to the point where you're like, you know what? I'm going to work with Source. We're almost there. We'll get this. And when you do that, you'll still see the plan playing out. And you're working with Archangel Gabriel. There's a lot of feminine energy coming in. Gabriel works with the West and water, which is your opposite. But in this aspect, it's more of like, I'm showing you how to be more fluid. That third week was the adaptability energy with the Woodwives. And so Gabriel's coming in this last week saying, Fire, you move like water in a lot of ways, so let's have this dance together. Let's do this. And this is that union of opposites. This is the alchemy of life. This is basically the creative force where you bring everything together, you transmute it from its individual parts into the powerful end of what you're working on. And then you get to see the next side where what's the next goal? So your message from Source is number 3, the benefactor with grace and generosity. Again, you've got this loving connection energy going on. So Fire, you might have a really strong love connection coming in this month, which is cool. Or if you're already in a relationship, this is a rekindling of the initial love romance energy. So you've got there's just a lot of fire going on here. But the benefactor is your message from Source. It's saying when you achieve your goals, you have helped others along their goals as well. Just like I said with I-ching, where you're inspiring, you're building, you're growing, you're connecting. As you lead this charge, others are inspired to lead their own charges. They're helping you, you'll help them. You become the benefactor of your own dignity. You become the benefactor of other people's grace and generosity, and then you share it back with them. So it's this cycle of growth, of expansion, of creation. Fire, you're the one setting this wonderful snowball of creation off, and this is your reward. Is when you do that, it's going to continue to feed back. You're going to feed to them, they're going to feed to you, you're going to feed to them. This is a really strong energy of bringing a community back together, bringing people back into that neighborly world. I was having that discussion with a friend of mine at work today, talking about how big cities versus small towns and the differences of how people respond. The small town vibe is a community-oriented vibe. They're all there. They visit in the grocery store aisles, where it sometimes drives you nuts because you just want to get your groceries and go. But there's always a friendly smile. There's always a hello. That's the energy that's there. You go into some of the bigger cities, and all of a sudden you're like, no one smiles here. There's no one saying hi. Everyone's scowling. But when you start to build that community within your own bubble, your own little world, you radiate that light of joy, of friendliness, of happy expansion to others. They feel that and respond in kind. And that's this message that Source wants to do, is you don't have to change the world. You're working within your community, and that changes everything. So start there. Your message from the tarot is the 4 of Autumn. Manage your resources wisely. Achieve a balance in how you spend and save. Help those who are less fortunate. We're going to throw out the less fortunate. When you are working with others, you're helping other people. You're bringing light into the world. You're anchoring that. Finding the balance between work and play. Find the balance between home and outside life, social life and home life, whatever. Finding those balances. The 4 of Autumn is more of a tap on the shoulder saying, everything's going your way, but don't get frivolous. Just because things are going well right now doesn't mean you don't plan for the future. You're still planning for things that are coming, because that is what Source is requesting. I mean, you can do what you want. Free will of choice is 100% yours. but this is what's going to work out best. And the autumn energy is a lot more of the earth energy, so we're working with bringing these things in and grounding them, getting stable, getting balanced, setting those foundations. Even if you already have a foundation, reinforce that thing. But this is your energy that's coming in for the month of February for our fire family. Let me know what your thoughts are on that, and I will see you in the next video.